Anyway.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Oh no, let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, the dream we all dream of. Boy versus girl in the world series of love. You walk in, I never seen such a pretty girl look so tough, baby. You got that look. Color you peach and black, color me Tino Black.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I don't wanna one time see you laughing, babe. Only wanna see you laughing, yeah. In the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain.
Rest in peace, Joan China North and Prince Roger Nelson. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
MyT.
Where we go, people wanna know who we are.
Yes.
So we tell them this is mighty, mighty good evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Talent T. Taylor. Whew. Whew. Sorry. I'm running through all kinds of emotions right now. Like, I'm all over the place. It's April 28th. I'm a little late. It's 85 degrees. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. Whew. Listen. Before we go any further, any further, let me say this personally about that little homage I did in the beginning. That like I was all over the place a while ago. I was hype, and then I was a little sad at the solo, and I made it. Like last night I made this, so not for nothing. Like, it just seems like I'm watching, like, as I'm going through these, and I'm watching all of these videos, and I'm running through all of these old songs, and I'm doing my musical time travel as I'm getting swept up into every, like, all the videos that I see again, that I remember as a child, the live performances, because I'm a live performance kind of dude, and then I realized that, not for nothing, like Prince did it right. And talk about a time when, like even look about now, where like we have all the people that bleached their skins, all the people that had all the face surgeries and all the reconstructive facial surgeries, and they just completely botched it. Like the little Kims, and I think even more recently, like the Gabrielle Unions, the Michael Jacksons, where their faces was just like, Hey, his don't look that bad, or that, I mean, he did his too, but look that much off than his original. I mean, it's just streamlined. Like, he doesn't look weird, and it matches whatever style he has consistently had. So, man, that's not about to happen. I apologize. Whew. Sorry. But yeah. This is where we're at. Welcome back to another edition of the Mighty Sports Minute. I am your host, Talent T. Taylor. Oh man. Today we talk about the NBA, the ups and downs, the falls, the bruises, the bangs, everything that's happened so far. The NFL draft is tonight, so we're gonna look at this. We're gonna look at the first 5 picks. We're gonna take a peek into, obviously, if you listen to me and you part of my fan base, then you know which teams already I'm probably gonna go for. But we'll talk about them later, and I'll reveal to you obviously which teams I'm gonna talk about. We're gonna give another award. I think we've got to find a permanent suitor for one of our awards, and obviously, we're gonna get into some local stuff. But you know what I say, regardless of the time and regardless of the weather, it's always a good time to talk some sports. So let's start talking. I told you guys I am a little excited today, so you're gonna have to bear with my energy, because it's through the roof, like, for a bunch of things.
MyT.
First of all, I'm 2 days late with the podcast. 2 days late, kind of, sort of. Like, I do it, like, listen, any extra time I get to prepare this for you guys, I do appreciate it. But listen, don't blame me. Do not blame, well, I guess you can blame me, it's my show. I was waiting for some music. Like, I was trying to, like, I'm trying to get somebody's music sampled on this podcast. And every time I get a situation where I'm able to present one of his mixes, nothing's prepared. You know, so I have to go find other resources, or as you see, I have to go make my own. But listen, we gonna get him though. We gonna get him, and you're gonna hear some of his stuff live right here on the podcast, right here. You know, like it's gonna be exclusive. And listen, I know like that beginning of the intro took up a big portion of our show, so we're just gonna get right into it. And we're gonna talk about these NBA playoffs, or what is suited up so far. Not even the NBA playoffs, but since we're already on a course where we're talking about the death of China and the death of Prince, what about the death of the Clippers? And what was presumed to be the death of Golden State? Because Curry gets simmered down and he goes down with a knee sprain, right? And we quite don't know where he's going to be. He says he's going to be back in about a week or two. And most people with these injuries don't sit out too long. He does a lot of irky-jerky kind of movement. So that's going to be tough on him. That's going to be tough on him. Only because even though his movements aren't violent, they are stop and go. They're going to give off and release a lot of force and a lot of energy a lot of times. And I don't know how that's going to hold up. He may not feel himself. He may end up being a lot more on his ankles and calves, more than he tries supporting himself through his quads and you know what I mean? And shit. Whatever. You know, but through his quads and upper leg muscles. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna be interested to see that even when he does come back. Now it looks like he's gonna be going up against Portland. As Portland took advantage of Blake Griffin being grounded and CP3 not being able to handle the rock. You know, like Blake Griffin hurts his quad again, and CP3 he breaks his hand freakishly, like swatting at the ball on defense. So Portland did what Houston should have done, is that they took advantage of the injuries and they buried a weakened team. Something is going on in Houston, and I really don't know what it is. Because, listen, like two stars being down is devastating enough. Even the fact, but Houston's personnel should have afforded them more. We're going to take our first break. We're going to come back, Mighty Sports Minute, on SoundCloud and on TuneIn Radio.
Take off. Tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then head down to Multivest Games and get the value you deserve. Multivest. Find them at 830 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. Located just 5 minutes from Tootsie's and Sun Life Stadium in the plaza across from Snappers. Multivest Games. Save more, play more.
Welcome back to the Mighty Sports Minute here on SoundCloud and TuneIn Radio. Again, I am your host, Talon T. Taylor. And that was a hectic first segment. I know what you're thinking. Like, things went by quickly. But listen, we're not done. Like, this is just the beginning third of the show. Or beginning quarter of the show. Like we get into the second quarter now. And in regular fashion, as I always inform you guys, I have a game on in the background. Right now, what I'm watching is this Portland and Clippers game. Even though I already know the results, I kind of want to see how it happened. Because I saw how Houston fell to Golden State. Like I said, we're going to talk about that. I saw how Charlotte stole one in Miami. We're going to talk about that, too. What I didn't see is how Portland closed out the Clippers. Like I said, it's all about taking advantage. It's all about opportunities. And Conor McGregor has got to be one of the dumbest SOBs out there right now. Right? When you're talking about taking advantage of opportunities. He had the opportunity to go into UFC 200, right? Headline it in New York City for the very first time ever in UFC history. And he blows it because he doesn't do something that he knows he's contractually obligated to do because he thinks that he is too big for his britches. See, this is what happens when you get beside yourself, people. When you step outside of your lane. And I'm not saying step outside of your lane and the fact that you need to shrink to all forms of authority. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying out of your lane as in that you should have challenged something that you think that needs to be challenged. No, what I'm saying is that you know wholeheartedly that you are on. I'm not even gonna say you at your peak, but you on a rapid incline, and you decide to do something as stupid. Like, you might as well have taken steroids. Like literally, that's how dumb this was. Like, you might as well just blatantly smoked weed, done crack, or taken steroids. Like, there's just done something blatantly stupid that you knew you was gonna get caught for, because you knew that you had to go to the promos. You have to do the public relations stuff. And you skip out on it because you don't want to break training. Because Nate Diaz ain't training. Because John Jones ain't training. Because Cormier ain't training. Because them broads ain't training. I don't even know if broads are fighting on this call, but I know them broads are gonna be fighting. So you all of a sudden there's things like that all of a sudden the rules don't apply to you, and so you are the first recipient today of the because you're a stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to have to pull out my parlez-vous français, voulez-vous avec avec moi ce soir, but you now you over here begging and pleading, just like, oh, I'm ready to fight. Wait, I'm sorry, you have an accent. I'm ready to fight, man. I was ready to go. I must have given him a blow or two. I was ready to fight. I don't even know if that's the proper accent. Right? There was way more left in that Henny than you said. Just saying, or that you anticipated. Just saying. We'll talk about that one later too. Right? So now you're begging, and he's begging and pleading just to try to get back on the card that you were gonna headline. Right? Like, you're begging and pleading just to fight Nate Diaz, but guess what? You're not gonna fight Nate. You're not gonna fight Nasty. Nasty's gonna go on and do other things. Right? But now you're just trying to get on the card. Like, now you're just trying to get on the card. Like, now you're just trying to get a fight for the night. You're trying to get a fight for the night. You're just trying to get on the card. So, listen, like you brought on yourself. Everybody loves seeing you fight. Everybody loves hearing you talk. You got your brains beat in. You got your head knocked off. And listen, you may want to put part of the blame on the fact that you've been doing so much extra stuff and that you haven't been able to put 100% to your regiments, and you've had to break some training things, and that may have been a particular case in that Nate Diaz fight. But I would ask you, like, have you not had to do that before? Was the Nate Diaz fight the very first time? Like, so I know you want to I know you want to try your best to get back to the ways when you were your most dominant. It's not like you were undefeated, right? Let's get that twisted. It's not like you were going for like you were trying to preserve an undefeated record, and Nate Diaz came and took that away from you. You've been beat. You're just excited, and you talk, and you're interested, and you come to fight. So now, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna get Cormier versus John Jones Bones. And once again, just to go with the same theme that we opened the show with, something else that is gonna get buried, because that last Bones fight and Cormier fight did not leave much for the imagination. It's basically right now when Misha Tate is gonna go fight Ronda Rousey. Is that what's gonna happen? Is that the two bras that are gonna fight in this one? And I say bras, and not in a disrespectful way, but just in the way of addressing women, because that's the way I'm just comfortable with addressing women more than anything else. At sometimes when I'm just going at this rate of speed, that's what that is. But it's nothing offensive, because listen, if anybody that knows me, that I am sexist in only one way, and one way is that, listen, I go out of my way to be more helpful to women than I am to men, and that's because, not for nothing, as a minority black male, that I am a strong proponent. You know what I mean? I'm a strong believer of also women rights, because it's minority rights or it's just rights in general, or equal rights in general, that I'm a fan of. So any group or subsection of people that happens to be objected for any reason, like I tend to be able, I tend to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Sympathize with, which, to be honest with you, is not always received. It's not always tit for tat. It's not always received on the other end for women. I see a lot of women that don't understand minority rights, and they look at it very, very, very ignorantly. But like I said, I know a lot of minorities that don't look at women's rights. So it's both ways. But we're not even gonna get into that. Like I said, like, to be honest with you, like, I would love for Hillary Clinton to win if Hillary Clinton wasn't a two-faced cunt. Like, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Like, I am all for progression of society. Like, getting the first woman president in there is definitely a goal of mine to see. It's just not Hillary. Like I said, like, there was other black people that came along before Obama. They just weren't qualified. You know what I mean? Like we've had to turn some people down. Like, we don't want you representing the African American community. You know what I mean? Because technically, like, it doesn't matter, like, if you're half this or half that. What you're gonna be doing is representing the African American community. Like, listen, you can get by for as long as you want, calling yourself mixed. You know what I mean? But at some point in time, you're gonna have to claim one side, and it's gonna be African American, and then they're gonna scrutinize you as one, and then the rest comes. Like I said, we're not getting into politics today. Today we're just talking about losses, like horrible losses. And Cormier is going to take a horrible loss to Bones Jones, because I didn't see any. Like I said, I didn't see anything in that first matchup that told me that his second matchup is going to be anything different. Like Cormier talking about, yo, I'm gonna take you down this time, and I'm gonna go after you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's what you said last time, and you didn't do any of that. Like, he was able to utilize his and it's not that Cormier is a bad fighter. It's just that Bones just has a massive reach advantage. Like, you can't get close enough to him, so he's gonna have to bull rush him, eat a bunch of shit, try to take him down, and then go about your business. Oh, man. So talking about going about your business and your business, right? I told you, like, things are delayed today for obvious reason. There was a whole bunch of stuff that I had to work on for you. And what we're going to talk about next is going to be the NFL and what's been happening in the NFL, right? Because we have a whole bunch of stuff coming. We have the draft, right? We have the Newman debacle. We have the Sherman we have the Sherman face off. We have the Gronkstagram, but more than anything, we get an exclusive track. Cognac music.
I got two for the hugs, one for the hugs. I got two phones, one to the crowd, two for the coach. I gave two keeps on ringing, keeps on ringing, thinking about it. Oh my God, I know some other people see this. I got 30 cheating, making history easy. It was always cheating, it was always cheating.
And there you have it. Another Cognac music production. And yes, it was all just cheating. Because at the end of the day, Tom Brady is going to be suspended for 4 games. Now listen, you know what's so bad? So many of us really wish it was last year. Like, I know every single Jets fan out there wish that he was suspended last year, because that means we probably would have been a playoff team. Probably. You know, like, there's something just, I don't know, but the way things are going to start out this season, we have the same opponents that they do, so we just have to come through and really focus and try to get something out of those first 4 games at least, because that's what everybody's going to be gunning for. The Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets. They're going to be trying to come out of those first 4 games with a better record than the Patriots. Because Tom Brady is now suspended for 4 games, because what they said is that Roger Goodell did not abuse his power by suspending Tom Brady for 4 games for not revealing evidence, you know what I mean, necessary to investigate the deflation of the footballs. Because okay, so let's be honest, let's just be real, right? Like, they really didn't go out to go see if Tom Brady was cheating. They wanted to see, they were trying to investigate the deflation of the footballs. They wanted to know why were these footballs deflated. Because it wasn't looking good. The footballs came back under pressure, right? And yes, they didn't take it to the gas law, but it's kind of hard to take it to the gas law when you see the ball boy go into the bathroom right before the game. And there's all kinds of nicknames, the deflator, and all kinds of and all kinds of cryptic emails, and then you destroy your phone, and you act like you don't want to give up information that could be pertinent. Now listen, he said he had a burner. He should have had 2 phones, one for Gazelle and one for the hoes. But obviously there was shit in there he didn't want seen, so he destroyed his phone. And it may not even have been shit regarding to the deflate gate, but his action just came off as guilty. So listen, Tom Brady's a cheater, and he's been cheating ever since he came into the NFL, and he's been cheating all the way up to like 2 years ago, and now he's being punished for it finally because he doesn't want to cooperate. Like, I'm sorry, but more than that. Right, Johnny Manziel gets indicted, right? And he's very soon becoming, or very close to becoming, the permanent name and sponsor figure for this award. Like, I can't think of a better person that's ever squandered an opportunity, like, during my time of having a podcast. Like, Johnny Manziel, money Manziel, money. Yeah, see, there we go. That was some foreshadowing for you guys. I can't understand what he's doing. So his girlfriend finally can't take enough of him because, like, he's whooped her ass one too many times, and she's tired of it. So she's going through pressing charges. And I'm gonna tell you something that's very ironic, because notice I said that he has finally whooped her ass one too many times, because there's a weird sadistical part of me that believes that she may, I'm not saying that she is, that she may only be finally pressing charges because, just like everybody else has realized, that he is a no talent fuck. We're gonna talk about that and more when we come back from this commercial.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, "I became a soldier."
And we are back. This is still the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm still your host, Talon T. Taylor, and you should still be listening on either SoundCloud or TuneIn Radio. And we are still talking about Johnny Manziel. Like, I find it weird that, because at the same amount of time, around the same time that obviously teams are realizing that this college phenom of an athlete and potential doesn't give enough two hoots to want to be a true professional baller, that she also realizes that this dude that she thought was gonna be, that still has dough, by the way. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not saying that this is for like, I'm not even saying that this is a thought process. I'm just saying that in my weird the sadistic head, that this is a weird thought process, a weird angle of mine. That this also happens on the same time when she also realizes that he also isn't progressing his life. And I don't want to say that his life as a football star, and that's why I want to make sure this is clear. Not necessarily like progressing his life as a football star, but she's also realizing that what he said he was gonna be sought out to become was all a facade. You know what I mean? Like it was an illusion. He never had any true intentions of becoming who he said he was gonna be. He was just, as I said last week, okay of just being in the league. Never really wanted to be the star quarterback or to be the superstar or to put the time in to be great. Put the time in to be great. He thought greatness was inherited because he has inherited a wealth. So he thought greatness can be inherited without work. See? Party, get money, was given money. Thought that he can party, and be given opportunity without putting in the work. Johnny Manziel is very soon, and just may have very well qualified himself in that very last statement to be the permanent figurehead, name and title for that Richard Cranium Award. It's gonna be the Johnny Manziel, the Money Manziel Richard Cranium Award. Speaking of a couple of those, like Josh Newman. I don't even know what's going on in the NFL anymore. Like it seems like the whole entire league should be qualifying for something. Like, Josh Newman, coño, like you stupid pendejo. What are you doing, B? Like, and and you know what? I knew you were a knucklehead. I knew you were a knucklehead. I hear you talk. I hear you all the time down here in South Florida, coming on the local radio station. You sound like you can't hold it all together. You had a multi-year, multi-year, double-digit million guaranteed contract coming your way. Coming your way. Based off of your agent pulling the franchise tag because he knew he can get you probably a 4 or 5 year deal. Nah, you panic. You get rid of your agent, leave him as a consultant so you don't have to, you don't fire your agent, but you reduce his role to a consultant so you don't have to wait that 5-day grace period to sign with another agent and go through the whole agency process. You're trying to hurry up and move the process along, but you panic and you called the team and you started negotiating in front of your agent instead of behind your agent, or through your agent. Told him that you were firing your agent and that you signed the franchise tag, that you just wanted to be a Panther. And like I said, once again, not understanding how things work and realizing that this isn't just words and things that happen in Madden where they're just instant gratification or all these little quick and shit notices. No, them saying that your franchise tag was pulled meant that they had submitted paperwork to the league to make it known that your franchise tag is officially pulled. So there is no giving you back the franchise tag. Anything else now outside of that is you working out a long-term contract. But now they don't know how to give someone a stable dude that doesn't understand the inner workings of a business to really want to invest in him long-term. So now you go to Washington with all the other, madness that goes on in Washington. There's no RG3 there anymore. RG3 has moved on. RG3 has moved on to... Where did RG3 move to? Was it Philly? No. Was it Philly? Nah. I don't know. He doesn't care. To be honest with you, that's the number one answer. Don't really care. RG3 is gonna have to play well again for me to have to even be on my radar. He won't even be on my watch list for fantasy football. Which, if you're listening and you play fantasy football, right? I hope you've been watching and paying attention to the draft. Because also around the draft time is also when moves are coming. which means that people are going to become number ones in other areas. People are being moved out of their homes, and number one receivers is what I'm talking about. Number one running backs is what I'm talking about, are being changed and being moved in there. Like a lot of you guys have to know by now, like there's no Peyton Manning to get anymore. And listen, we're gonna go into a fantasy football, into a fantasy football quick boot camp, because remember, I am still in that fantasy football women league. So all the people that want to join, the Mias, the Crystals, the Natalies, very very recently Jessica. Also, talk about very recent. Shout out to hopefully who should be a new listener. I think what's your name, Nathan, the young lady from AT&T that came and hooked me up with the policy. Let me give you a proper shout out. So we don't want to get too much sidetracked. Like I said, these segments are very running short. We're already broken halftime already in the third quarter, and talking about quarters, we are currently in the second quarter of this Portland and Clippers game, and Portland is up 30-26. And I was wondering I've been wondering who was gonna come through for the Clippers and really get up any points. And I guess the only guy I can really think of is the guy that's on the line right now, and that's Green. But I see Portland putting this one away. We're gonna put this one away. So Newman panics, and then on a lighter note of the NFL, because like I said, I'm not gonna hand out to everybody awards. Heard a funny thing about Richard Sherman, where he did some weird thing in the local city, in local Seattle, where he operated as like a cabbie or a crane lift guy or something like that, and the people that he was around couldn't recognize him. I don't even know how he disguised himself, but I'm assuming that he did something very minuscule that he thought was minuscule that people didn't recognize. You have to remember, but it goes to show you that football players aren't that recognizable. Come on, goes to show you. We're gonna talk about something later. Especially that since we were talking about men, women, gender roles, and sex and race earlier. We're gonna talk about something else later. Something interesting that I saw. I told you I am a big proponent of women's rights. So, and then Gronk, and then if you've been paying attention, Gronk has been all over Instagram lately, and Gronk has been nothing but funny. Like, he has allowed himself to be the ridiculous knucklehead. But more than anything that I'm telling you about the NFL, going on tonight is going to be the NFL draft, right? And the NFL draft is going to have 31 picks for the first round, because as Tom Brady is obviously, I told you, is serving his sentence or his punishment, so will the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots don't have a first round pick, so there's only going to be 31 picks for this season, all for this draft. But also, we've seen teams do a lot of maneuvering to move up in the draft, as we've seen the LA Rams move up to number 2. To move up to number 1. We've seen the Philadelphia Eagles move up to number 2. I think it's Cleveland at number 3. Dallas has number 4, and I can't remember who's at number 5. Right? And everybody has their needs. And so far, everybody has been saying, these 2 quarterbacks are going to go at number 1 and number 2. And, was it Goff and, Waste? Something like that? So what is it? Rams, Philly. Sorry. Cleveland is not number 3. San Diego is. San Diego, Dallas, Jacksonville. That's right. Cali, Philly, Texas, Florida. I just knew it helped me cover big cities, okay? It's a weird way to try to remember shit. But more than anything, right, as well as I'm going to be concerned with the top 5 picks of the draft. Right, we're gonna keep track of that. First one we're gonna stop at is Dallas. Dallas has the number 4 pick. Second round they have the number 34 pick, number 67 pick, the 101st pick. They have 2 4th round picks, so they also have the number 135th pick. They don't have a 5th round pick. They have 4 6th round picks. 189, 212, 216, and 217. And Dallas has just about as many needs as anybody else would have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to see Dallas get that running back. I really want to see Dallas get that running back. For one reason is that, why not? Like, you still like I hear people say that running backs don't need to be taken that early, but why not get a guaranteed running back to help. Listen, you saw what you can do with DeMarco Murray. Right? And DeMarco Murray isn't no stud because we saw what DeMarco Murray can't do anywhere else. How about putting a stud back there? Somebody that has superstar features. Superstar features like your Des Bryant. Get another bona fide. What I'm saying, Dallas, is that Tony Romo's only getting older, right? And Tony Romo has been carrying this team on his back, literally until it's broken, for over a decade. Like, listen, let me get this one thing straight to all of the Dallas haters out there. I'm not a Dallas fan, but like, you have to recognize, like, they haven't been great, but Tony Romo, specifically, single-handedly, has been the only good and consistent thing in Dallas for a decade. Then slowly came along Jason Witten. Because you sure as hell that other light-skinned dude that was your wide receiver for 5 years but couldn't stay healthy for more than 3 freaking games, wasn't it? Then you got Des Bryant. And then one day DeMarco Murray finally decides to play after he comes off a whole bunch of injuries, and you run him to the ground and you ship him off. Well, guess what? Now you can get a rookie that you can run in the ground for 4 years. Think about that. And he's a playmaker. And he's going to go through as a stud. And guess what? Now when Tony Romo goes, let's say if Tony Romo doesn't last the next 4 years, you have Des Bryant. You're going to have that running back. All you'll be doing is trying to find a quarterback to give the ball off to him. Put it this way, while you do your next quarterback search, you'll have a stud running back. You'll have a stud wide receiver. So you'll have somebody that you could give the ball off to, and you know that he'll make plays, and you'll have somebody that you can throw the ball up to, and he'll go get it. Dallas, if they were wise, and if Jerry Jones had any freaking huevos or any showmanship in a week that Prince has died, you show some goddamn showmanship, and you go ahead and you draft that stud running back Jerry Jones. But we gonna see. Oh man, talk about seeing. I know you guys don't wonder like if I'm crazy or I told you I'm hyper today. I'm hyper today like I'm hyper about Fridays because I don't like trying to figure out what to do on Fridays. So I don't worry. I don't think. I head to Capone's. I go downtown Fort Lauderdale and I go find DJ Scepter. He's usually mixing in the lounge room every single Friday. So I can start dancing and start drinking. Listen, that's DJ Scepter every Friday. That's 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Ladies, bring your sexy. Fellas, bring your swag. It's going down at Capone's. Listen. That's not it. That's not it at all. If you're trying to figure out what you want to do on a Wednesday, the middle of the week, trying to get through hump day, head down to O'Malley's. That's over in what's that, Margate? DJ Scepter's there in O'Malley's. From 10 to 2, 10 to 4, whatever time they close. 10 to close. That's not only it. He's family friendly too. DJ Scepter also can be found at Tijuana Taxis in Coral Springs. From 9 to close. Or 9 to 12. Who knows? But starting from 9, you can bring your whole family. DJ Scepter, you can book him for bar mitzvahs, you can book him for birthday parties, you can book him for quinceañeras, you can book him for bachelorette parties, you can book him for bachelor parties. You can, for whatever you need, DJ Scepter puts a royal touch on everything. That's DJ Scepter. You reserve him at bookings at djscepter.com. That's BOOKINGS bookings at djscepter.com. Yeah, my DM's been kind of busy lately. You know who you are. It's all been fun and games though. Like nothing dangerous. Woo! Welcome back. This is still the Mighty Sports Minute. I'm still your host, Talent T. Taylor, and you should still be listening on either SoundCloud or TuneIn Radio. So as we talk some more about the draft, right? And what Dallas should do. Also coming up, obviously we're going to talk. Giants have the number 10 pick. The Dolphins have the number 13 pick. The Bills have the number 19 pick. The Jets have the 20th pick, and as I said, the Patriots. Sorry, bro. Like, so Giants, right? First up, Giants. Number 10, number 40, number 7, number 71, 109, 1. And this is all by roll. First round, 10th pick. Second round, 40th. Third round, 71st. Fourth round, 109. Fifth round, 149. Sixth round, 184. Now, listen, Giants have a whole bunch of work to do too. They did get some help from the Jets, so they got some help with the middle linebacker, inside linebacker. So they don't have to worry about that so much. As much as they have to worry about just trying to solidify the offense, the outside linebacker position. Also, if they truly want to be dynamic, they're gonna have to get a cornerback out there as well. You know, not only get pressure on the quarterback, but also get somebody to cover some of these wide receivers that you have in there. Because listen, one of the things that I said at least about Josh Norman's gonna be going up against Odell Beckham twice now this year. He's gonna be going up against Des Bryant now twice this year. So you yourself, Giants, are gonna have to go up against Des Bryant twice this year. You know what I mean? You still have Deshaun Jackson over there in Washington. You have to go up against him twice this year. You're going to have to get somebody to cover some of these corners. Also, they're going to need some wide receivers. Get some help over there on Odell Beckham. Because now, like I said, you got somebody that's good, that you know you're going to have to face twice. So what you're going to do is you want to get somebody, at least a number 2 that you can, at least a reliable number 2 that you can at least get the ball to. When Odell Beckham is being double teamed all over the place, trying to make one-handed catches. And underhandedly, very dirtily, very cantankerously diving, missiling himself at defenders and hitting them in the helmet. Don't worry, we ain't forget about that. We ain't forget about that at all, Mr. ODB. Like, trust me, you were still a candidate for that award this year. Johnny Manziel, you just lucky that Money Manziel has a better ring to it when I'm trying to make this drop. Dirty mofo, you. And they're gonna need an offensive tackle as well, right? So Giants have some work to do, but you know how I say, right? You know what I really say. I say get somebody to help the quarterback, right? And that's whether somebody on your line, and that's your offensive line, right? So get somebody to help your quarterback and help your running game. Well, help protect your quarterback, and also get your quarterback a new weapon. So, wide receiver, obviously. Add something dynamic. Try to add something dynamic to your defense. Doesn't matter where, but try to add something dynamic to your defense, and try to get somebody to rush the passer. So get somebody. And it doesn't matter whether it's somebody on the line or somebody like a middle linebacker. Get somebody to try to rush that passer. And I think that those are the 4 keys to your first 4 picks. So let's see if they stick to what I say on my key concerns in the first 4 picks. Next up, we have the Dolphins. Dolphins in the first round have the number 13 pick. Second round, they have the 42 pick. Third round, 73. Fourth round, 107. Fifth round, 147. Sixth round, 186. And then the seventh round, they're going to have 2 picks with 227 and 231. Now, obviously, people have left all over in Dolphin Nation, but Dolphin does have one good thing. They do have a good front line when it comes to defense. So let's see if they can get some help on cornerback. They're probably going to need help the most. They lost, what's his name? Miller at running back, so they probably have to refill that. And they just need linebacker help. So middle linebacker, outside linebacker, just go ahead and just get linebacker help. But you want help to try to get more pressure on, as much pressure as possible on the quarterback. Also, they need to look at a wide receiver. I still don't see them with anybody dynamic as a wide receiver. So they need to touch that too. They definitely need to touch that as well. So it's like I said, Dolphins have holes, a lot of holes. Like a lot of holes. And I don't know if I want to take this podcast into extended minutes like a Prince solo. Like remember last week I had to stay very much on key because I wanted that 60 to represent like Kobe's 60 and his hard work and his love for precision and to the T-ness and the fundamentals and the grind of the game. Well, Prince was all about the flamboyantness and the ad-lib, and I feel like this is a Prince kind of show today, because I'm not trying to cause any sorrow, any kind of pain, not at all. And purple haze. What I'm saying is that we may run a little bit over like a Prince solo. So listen, if we go 15 minutes over, listen, you may have to just eat this one today. Just bear in mind. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm just saying, prepare yourself in case we do. Next up, right? We have the Bills. And the Bills have Rex Ryan. Let's not forget that. Bills number one, we have Rex Ryan. As not to mention, as we didn't mention with the Giants did change Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin is no longer the coach of the Giants, even though he still lingers around the facility, I've heard. Bills have the number 19 pick, 49, second round, 80 in the third round. In the fourth round, they have two picks, 117 and 139. Fifth round, they have the 156 pick. Sixth round, they have 192. And, I'm sorry, in the sixth round, they have two picks, 192 and 218. And they do not have a seventh round pick. Now, for them, we're going to see what they want to do. Like, I don't know if they're going to go forward with Tyrod Taylor or not. So, they may want to look for a quarterback. Listen, I'll take Tyrod Taylor if they don't want Tyrod Taylor. Like, if they get a quarterback early, listen, I want to put past it just like, listen, go after Tyrod Taylor. Tell me you want, take him out. But as well, they're going to need some help in the back end of their defense, right? So the Bills are going to possibly be looking at some safeties. Also, you know, let's just put it this way. The Bills need help in defense. More than anything else, they need help on defense. They have enough offensive weapons, I believe. Wide receivers, running backs. So maybe looking for a quarterback to see maybe you can find somebody that's a little bit more consistent. But I think Tyrod Taylor's that dude. I think with Tyrod Taylor they could be dynamic. I'm gonna be very, very interested and curious to see what Tyrod Taylor does with that team this year, from an offensive standpoint. So I guess really everything else is help Rex Ryan solidify that defense. So talking about inside linebacker, strong safety, defensive end, like get them all. Get somebody on every single level. You know, somebody on the back end, somebody in the middle, somebody on the line. Get somebody everywhere. And next up, with the number 20th pick, the New York Jets. Now, if you guys are wondering, right? For those who don't know why I've done that, right? Because I don't think there's a lot of people that don't know why I did that. Like I know there's a bunch of you that are laughing. The reason why I'm because a lot of you know I'm a Jets fan. Know that I'm wholeheartedly a Jets fan. Like I bleed gang green. You know what I mean? So you probably wonder like why would I boo the Jets? I'm not booing the Jets. I'm just booing the first pick that the Jets make because it's just in New York fashion that's what we do. We boo picks. They did it for Christoph Porzingis, not knowing who he was, and we're gonna do it for the number one pick when we pick him tonight for the Jets. It's just what we do. It is what we do. So the Jets are gonna pick 20th, and let's see. So 20th, second round 51st, third round 83rd, fourth round 118, fifth round 156. They don't have a sixth round pick and seventh round 257. Then after that, you're looking at what is gonna be them probably because they haven't re-signed Larry Fitzpatrick yet. Not Larry Fitzpatrick, but they haven't signed Fitzpatrick yet, and who knows if they do. But there is one thing that's going to scare me because from what I'm hearing is that they keep looking at this guy named Lynch. First of all, I won't take it there because there's another great Lynch in the league. Already. This guy, but just based off of his general IQ, which has nothing to do with talent, but general IQ doesn't stack up to be one of the smartest people in the world. He's gotten and he's scored half of what the two top quarterbacks have scored in this draft. Scored half of what the quarterback they were trying to sign scored. You know what I mean? And he scored lower than Geno Smith. And I think I'm gonna leave it there. He scored lower than Geno Smith. So unless they just think that they can't get Fitzpatrick signed, I don't see the need for them to get this Lynch guy as a quarterback. Unless what you're saying is that from a reactionary talent standpoint, that his dumbassness just his talent supersedes his dumbassness. You know, like he'll be able to produce from a talent standpoint on the field. But the Jets need a quarterback. They're probably gonna be looking for an outside linebacker. Wide receiver, they're pretty okay. I wouldn't still mind trying to add a guy, but they still have a speedster for a second year that they're probably going to take a good look at. Jason Morrow, they never had a good look at. So knowing how the Jets may be chasing how the Patriots do their thing, they're probably going to be looking at the second tight end. And also just in case Jason Morrow just can't hold up. Because listen, he was injured last season, didn't play a game for us. The basketball phenom. You know what I mean? So we're going to be seeing if he can progress, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up if they look at another tight end. Is it offensive tackle, outside tackle, offensive tackle, right? So outside linebacker, quarterback, offensive tackle, tight end. Get the quarterback, get him a weapon, get a quarterback, and try to rush the quarterback. Like I tell you, like football is not really that hard. When you really look at it, like trying to build these teams, like you have these 4 things that you're really looking at, and what you do is that you're prioritizing your needs, but you're also looking at talent coming out for those needs, and then you decipher it that way. So the thing that you may need the most, you may not get the most. It may not be the person that you get first, because that may not be where the best talented person is at. And if you're going based off talent and you're looking at those 4 positions and you just shuffle them around, you'd be like, okay, where's the first best talented person going to be at this position, at this pick for us to take, versus which one of these holes can we take by pick? You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's a science. It's a combination of both. But that's it. That's how the draft is going to play out, and we're gonna look into the rest of the draft we're gonna look at the rest of the draft tonight and see what happens. And then next week, all those picks, all those holes, all those slots that I told you, we're gonna fill those in, and then we're gonna give them a grade, and we're gonna see how well these teams addressed those particular needs. Like I said, every single team has about 4 needs, right? Like I said, it doesn't matter how you shift them around. Every single team is gonna have 4 needs. Well, listen, even if your team doesn't have 4 needs, your team has 4 needs, and those are the first 4 rounds of the draft: hope, potential, youngness, talent. Right? So, going on with that. Right. Like, talking about hope. Like, that's what's going on with the NBA right now. Is that a bunch of teams that you didn't think were gonna win now have hope. I'm gonna say the 2 biggest ones out of all of them: Charlotte and Portland. Because Portland is looking at it from a standpoint of injuries, where wow, purple rain, where they're able to take advantage of the Clippers, and they're gonna beat the Clippers, and they're gonna close out this series 4-2 most likely in Portland. But they're also hoping that they don't fall like how Houston fell, because not for nothing, Portland Star also gives a damn way more than Houston Star does. And you know, since we're gonna be here right now, I said I didn't want to get here so fast. I didn't want to talk about them so fast, so I'm not. But let's know we're gonna get in on Houston later. We are definitely gonna get in on Houston. So Portland's looking at it from an injury standpoint, where they're thinking that they're gonna want it a whole lot more than Houston did. And if Steph Curry isn't back, they're gonna try to take advantage of them. And they're gonna try to, like I said, Golden State is also just lucky that they've accumulated so much depth, and Sean Livingston is no slight of a point guard. You have to remember, like, not only, I think, was he a first round pick or was he a second round pick? Shoot, he's a 6'7", quick, can do everything, shoot the ball, can post you up, can rebound, can distribute the ball, can see over his defenders, and he's recovering from a thing, and he's been well rested. So like he's primed to do this for as long as Steph Curry needs the time to rest. So Portland is looking to possibly take advantage of the injuries that are going along in the West, while obviously San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City are just sitting back and waiting to square off eventually and looking to see who comes battered out of Golden State and Portland. But just now, just taking advantage of a window of opportunity more than anything else is Charlotte, as they steal one in Miami. And listen, I took the opportunity today to listen to both losing markets, to listen to the losing market of Houston and listen to the losing market of Miami, right? And while Houston was the team that got eliminated, you would have swore that the way that the Miami Heat contemporaries down here, right, and the fan base, how they were acting as if the series was over. And not for nothing, I'm looking at them weird, because one thing that I think we didn't expect was for Nicholas Batum to come back, and that helped their offense flow a lot better than anticipated. And he also helps from a defensive standpoint. He's able to switch between 4 different positions. 6'8" frame, nimble, like Jack. And the Heat fans, I mean, they and obviously they're getting their Gabrielle Union on. That's what the Heat fans sound like. All the Heat fans sound like this is perfect. The Heat fans today sound like the angry black woman. That's what they sounded like. Oh no. Like, oh no, like there was a foul. Where was this foul at? They fouled my way. They fouled my man. Like, well, like, like this, like, they sound like the angry black woman today. And they sound like a team that thought that they were going to be eliminated from the first round of the playoffs. And it looks like that, being down 3-2 going into Charlotte, knowing that Charlotte has been able to manhandle you now for 3 straight games. 3 straight games. And I remember how we talked about the first 2 games, or even those first set of games. How we talked about, listen, it's the first 2 games. I'm not gonna worry about much until I start seeing how game number 3 and start seeing how game number 4 goes. And we've seen how game number 3 and game number 4 has gone, because listen, like I said, Oklahoma City's already sitting there ready. Cleveland's already sitting there ready. San Antonio's already sitting there ready. Golden State's now is officially ready. Portland's gonna be ready. And it's funny too, because I had Miami as my dark horse coming out the East. I had Miami as a team that they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, go play against LeBron James and his Cleveland Cavaliers, and take them out of the championship contention. See, the only thing the only thing I looks at now is that if Golden State doesn't make, because only 2 teams that we thought was gonna be able to come out the East, really. I mean, not the West, really. It was either gonna be Golden State or San Antonio. Like we like teams like Clippers and Oklahoma City. They're sexy picks. They're the sexy pick. They're the pick that we all wish kind of would make it, because they have so much talent on the team. Even Houston slightly. Oh, Houston. But for the simple fact that I don't want Cleveland to win a championship, I know that the Clippers going there and Oklahoma City going there would not be beneficial or conducive to that particular wish. Because Cleveland could beat those 2 guys. Like LeBron, like I shouldn't say guys. I shouldn't say Cleveland. LeBron James can beat Oklahoma City and Doc Rivers in a 7-game series. So, as me picking Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat to be my dark horse, I was even thinking that, and I still feel this way, that if I'm LeBron James, like I feel slighted in a way. Like, and if I'm LeBron James, I should feel slighted, because Dwayne Wade is a person that you consider your best friend, and I feel like Dwayne Wade duped him. He was like, LeBron James was hoodwinked. He was bamboozled. Like, he didn't land in South Beach. South Beach took advantage of him. He didn't take advantage of South Beach. South Beach took advantage of him. Like, you do realize that for the 4 years that Dwayne Wade was with LeBron, Dwayne Wade was probably the most hurt that he's ever been. Outside of that year that he obviously took that year, that he really missed, like, the whole entire year, that allowed them able to get Michael Beasley, who now also plays in Houston. Michael Beasley. Right? Houston. But he was more injured that whole entire time. Like this year, they just managed his minutes. You know, no back-to-backs, this, that, and the third. You know, kind of what he did. But if I'm LeBron James, I feel duped because he's like, Dwayne Wade has done more with this team without him than he was doing with LeBron. And it's gonna sound weird, right? Thinking that, oh, LeBron James is taking on the 4 straight conference finals, and Dwayne Wade isn't doing that. But I think I said that you also forget that I also believe that LeBron James is also that dude that can take any team to a conference final, right? So it's not any different for Miami, and it wasn't any different for Miami. Like, seriously, like, you could put LeBron James on seriously any single team right now that you want in the NBA, and if I told you that they're gonna make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you wouldn't deny me. I can say it about Phoenix. He'll make Devin Booker average 40 points a game. If I said it about the Clippers, you would think they would win a championship. If I said it about San Antonio, Golden State, Memphis, you would think they were a championship team. If I said it about the Knicks, you would think they would make it to the conference final. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron James can take any team to a conference final. Any single team he wants to a conference final. That's probably going to be his greatness and also his weakness. Is that's all he can do is take teams to conference finals. Like, he's going to be the greatest, like, conference champion ever. But yeah, if I was him, I'll feel a little bit duped. I mean, let's just go into it. Houston gets eliminated, and I don't understand Houston. I don't understand Houston at all, because Houston is absolutely plays with no heart, no conviction whatsoever, and even saying that, it's not even just making a random bold statement. They track their hustle stats, and they're one of the bottom 3 teams. Like, they're one of the bottom 3 teams in hustle stack power rankings, which should not be the fact, because when you look at their team, you look at it like you have a superstar center, Dwight Howard, NBA Finals. James Harden, shooting guard, All-Star. So Dwight Howard, All-Star. You know what I mean? Like, James Harden, All-Star, has made it to an NBA Finals. Jason Terry has won an NBA championship. Trevor Ariza has won an NBA championship. Josh Smith has been in the playoffs for at least almost a decade now. Yes, think about it. Josh Smith was going into the playoffs all those years in Atlanta. Always getting bounced out of the second round, but still. That whole entire team now has now at least been to a conference championship and knows what it takes to at least compete at that level and take it to a Game 7. And they played this whole entire season with no heart whatsoever. They were a disgusting freaking like Phoenix, who was one of the bottom 3 teams in this league, decimated by injuries, played harder than Houston did. Houston just had more talent. I don't even want to talk about them anymore. I really don't, because, you know, I'm gonna have to get out of Houston. I'm gonna leave Houston. We're gonna take a trip. We gonna take a trip, and you know, just come with me.
Matter of fact, 305.
So, as I keep stating, this is still the MyT Sports podcast. I'm still Tyler T. Taylor, and yes, we are going into additional minutes. We are in podcast overtime. Listen, it's just what happens. Listen, blame it on the purple rain. Blame it on the purple haze. Like, just blame it on the perp. Just blame it on the perp. Blame it on the symbol. So, and I'm gonna start off here with my local segment. Very recently, very recently, I was blessed, honestly, right, or fortunate to be invited to what was considered a Vector 21 event. And what this Vector 21 event is, it was 21 recent graduates from FAU, designers, artists, branders, people that made logos, models, all kinds of stuff. Any kind of visual work that you may need, these kids were represented. And it's the first time I've been to, I guess, what's considered Broward's downtown art district, off of Sixth Trunk. Didn't know that that's where it was located, because that's not what I usually hear associated with Sixth Trunk. Right, but there's a little art district over there. And while I don't have all the 21 names there, but like I said, like, I did walk away with a bunch of business cards and a bunch of notes for a lot of people that I wanted to definitely hit up if I ever needed any kind of branding work outside of the current person that I'm using. But like I said, I don't know what most of these other people's things are, but I know one of them definitely stood out more to me than anything else, and the name of that one was Janice Bevel. That's JANICE, and then Bevel, BEVE. I'm gonna have to find it, and that's Janice Bevel Designs.com. Yes. So you can definitely find her there, and you can find her work there. And she was probably one of the most interesting figures I remember having. I'm looking at her business card, but I do apologize. I wrote over it like a jackwagon, and their book with all the information, I can't locate that either. But that doesn't mean I won't locate it very soon and give that to you in a much smoother presentation, obviously. Also, still to come, or still going on this weekend, is the conference, or the wild card round for the UFF playoffs. Right, because they split up their wild card round into 2 weeks. So they had one last week on the 23rd, and then now they have one this week on the 30th. And we're just basically just waiting for the last set of games to final up, as it seems that right now the Hollywood Browns are going to go up against the Broward Barracudas again, which should be an interesting matchup, because they have now beaten them twice. So to see them now in the playoffs, and it's going to be interesting. And I should be calling that game, because that should be a home game for the Browns. So I'll be calling that game on the 7th. Or maybe this weekend. I don't think so yet. But we'll keep you guys posted. So let's just go over the scores real quick. So the Ravens beat the Spartans 38-0. All right, and these are all the games from April 23rd. Knights beat the Commandos. The Commandos beat the Knights 32-20. The Stingrays beat the Outlaws 26-18, and the Barracudas, as I already mentioned, beat the Bengals 36-6. So now the Barracudas are able to go up against the Hollywood Browns. The Stingrays go up against, what is this? The Tampa, whoever. And no, let's get this properly. The Twin City Raiders. So the Florida Stingrays will go up against the Twin City Raiders. Then we're gonna have, and that's in the South Conference. So Hollywood Browns, Broward Barracudas, Florida Stingrays, and Twin City Raiders. South Conference playoffs. Now the Northern Conference playoffs is going to have the Ocelo Ravens versus the Orlando Phantoms. and the River City Commandos versus the West Coast Soldiers. So guys, like I said, if you're still feeling for football, as we spent the whole entire segment talking about the draft and what was going on there, then this is football going on here locally in South Florida. But not just South Florida. Like I told you, from all the way from Orlando down to Miami, like, we have football. Check it out. Find the dates. Look them up. UFF of America. I don't even think I need to spell that out to you. UFF of America. And not like America, like how they spell it on the memes, but America, how you learned in school, or how you should have learned in school. I don't know what they teach in school anymore. I've seen the new way that they teach math, and that ish is confusing. Like, holy crap. No wonder I've had to help my last 3 nieces with math. Like, the way they teach math now, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that because we still got some local sports still to talk about still. And so, as the UFF is going on, right, and those days are coming. And as I said, they have their next wild card game is going to be April 30th. Their conference championship is going to be on May 7th, and then the UFF Bowl is going to be UFF of America Bowl, the UFFOA Bowl. Is going to be on May 21st, 2016, and as I stated, that is going to be in Miramar, and I still don't have that specific location yet. Did I say I was going to have it by this show? I said I was going to have it by the end of April. I lied. I didn't lie. I just don't have it. It's not. I know it's in Miramar. That's all we have right now. And like I said, there's some big stuff coming out of UFF, by the way. Very recently, the UFF has sent out a notice to all their owners, right? And this is something that I found very interesting, because with the one owner that I spoke to, he was talking to me. One thing that I do remember him talking to me about was about roster space, and how being an amateur team, that sometimes you have problems, especially with road games or filling out roster spots, stuff like that, and them or their opponents have come close to forfeiting games because they might not have enough people to put on a 53-man roster, 56-man roster, whatever it is. So now what they've done is that they've allowed teams to have a much more open roster so that they can get a better rotation of players, but also, more than anything, give some of these kids a better opportunity. Because if it's not one thing that has been very, very apparent to me since I've been affiliated with the UFF of America, that this league does help keep a lot of young men out of trouble. And you can't replace that kind of positivity in somebody's life. Also, somebody else I want to give a quick shout out to before we end the show. In coalition with Vector 21, I want to give a shout out to ESPN West Palm, actually. Because they helped sponsor the event, and that was highly appreciative of me. You know, like I said, knowing that I have people that reached out to me for that event, it was good to see that a local ESPN logo was on this. Like I said, not to mention, ESPN is a place that I constantly thrive to want to, for some odd reason, work for. Just as long as I don't have to give up this creative freedom that I'm holding on to. And when we come back next week, we're going to talk about, we're going to get into the playoffs, as obviously we all know that one New York team has made it so far, the Islanders, the Brooklyn Islanders, and the New York Rangers are done. So we're going to get into a little bit more about hockey playoffs on the next show. We're gonna break down these NFL picks. We're gonna see where we're at in the NBA playoffs as we look at this Clippers game. As I just seen the sixth man of the year, Jamal Crawford, do a layup. But that was a highlight to the game, as it is halftime and the Clippers are up 50-45. As we all know, that's not gonna last too long. Guys, that's the end of the show. It's everything. Like I said, I know we went on our Prince solo at the end here. And I thank you for being with me. I thank you for listening. I thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate all the help. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the obstructive criticism. You know, I appreciate when you don't agree with me that you call me on my personal line and you like, hey, like you're a jackass for having this point of view. But I still love you and I love all of you for it. You know, there's no like it's what we do. Like if we didn't come here to talk and listen and open up and engage in conversation, then what were we here for? So, you know what I say after my thank yous. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and don't stress.
Sorry, boys. All the stitches in the world can't sew me together again. Lay down. Lay down.
Johnny, I'm coming to watch the draft!
Always knew I'd make a stop there. But a lot later than a whole gang of people thought. Last call for drinks.
Don't forget that you can find me
closing down.
on Twitter,
Sun's out.
MyT Sports,
Where we going for breakfast?
Facebook, MyT Sports,
Don't wanna go far.
MYT Sports,
Rough night. Tired.
Tune in, and SoundCloud.
Tired.
MyT Sports Podcast. MyT!